Alright guys, we got 3 videos for the day yet again. I know I said I was going to do 1 video a day, but it doesn't work out like that. Topics, interesting topics keep popping up, I suppose. Anyway, let's jump into it. Let's knock these out. And I apologise for being late because I slept in. I fell asleep. And I had 9 hours sleep, which is a change for me, which is really, really good. But let's talk about CNN because CNN is fake news. And in case anybody needed any proof of this right now, the mainstream media is trying to run a narrative that Trump walked out after having an interview with 60 Minutes. And he walked out about asking, when they started asking questions about COVID. To the point where they have Trump abruptly ends 60 Minutes solo interview. And we're just going to mute it because it's CNN. No one wants to listen to it. But here they are. Trump holds PA rallies. Republican warn to change course now, apparently. But yeah, they're going on basically. Yeah, the whole Trump walking out of the rally thing really didn't last very long in this, did it? But regardless, so the mainstream media is trying to run this narrative that Trump walked out. But the problem is that narrative falls apart because McKinney, Caitlin McKinney, the press secretary, I can't think of her name right now, she went through and she was, Caitlin McKinney, she was actually in the room when this all went down. And she actually said on Twitter what happened. And she wrote, CNN is not reporting the truth. I was in the room. COVID questions were right off the bat. President Donald continually fact-checked Leslie Stahl, who came unprepared. Now, so basically what we know the interview went for 45 minutes. We know there was a photo op. And we know that at the end of it, Trump was supposed to go back. I think they were saying supposed to go back and get a photo taken or something, or wrap up the interview or something. I can't remember. But what we know is Trump stayed for 45 minutes and then abruptly left the interview. We know the COVID questions were right off the bat. So my question is this. If this was the case, if the COVID questions were right off the bat, and Trump walked off because he was in a huff over the COVID questions, but we know the interview went for 45 minutes, how does that all work? Because unless you've been asking questions for 45 minutes about COVID, he wouldn't have been walking out over that instance. Right? If the COVID questions are right off the bat, say there was like 10 minutes of COVID questions, 15 minutes, half an hour of COVID questions even. They would have had to move on to another topic, right? This whole interview wasn't just about COVID, I'm presuming anyway. I presume this hour-long interview would have covered other things that probably are important as well as COVID, right? So why is it that Trump walked out 45 minutes after the interview started if the COVID questions were right off the bat? You can't have one and the other. But regardless, CNN seems to be wanting, and the mainstream media seems to be wanting to push this interview or push this narrative. And to me, it's complete load of shit. To be honest. Now they're claiming that, Fauci also had an interview and he was able to answer questions better and blah, blah, blah. Maybe it was tough on Trump, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. But yeah, I think Trump just got sick of the interview. I think Trump and from what I've saw, it seems to be very much the interview was biased against Trump and Trump got sick of the bias. And that's why Trump left the interview. He got up and walked out because of the interviewers and being against Trump and being constantly against. And this is the narrative that first started floating on the internet. Everybody was going on, oh my God, the president baby walked out because the questions were too tough. And then it all changed after questions were too tough to questions about COVID. So I would say that that's initially what's happened, if I had to guess. Is I think that CNN interview with Trump, or 60 Minutes interview, with Trump, was completely biased. And Trump had a gutful of it. So he walked out. He did the interview for the 45 minutes. He did the the press stuff after, and he's like, nah, fuck it, I'm done with this interview, and he walked off. That's probably what happened. He didn't wrap up the interview. He didn't do the final 10 minutes or whatever, 5 minutes or whatever it was. He probably thought, no, I'm done with this shit, and walked off. And that's what I can't blame him for that. You've been constantly slammed by the media, and you're wondering why Trump isn't going to sit there and spend time with you? I mean, but all we've done, President, is just slam you in the media every single opportunity we've got. Why do you not want to sit down and have a conversation with us? Like, are you kidding me? Really? But anyway. But yeah, guys, a little bit of CNN fake news for the first video for the day. Personally, this whole Trump leaving out a COVID meeting discussion, it's completely debunked. Now, look, obviously, Kayleigh McKinney, or whatever her name is, besides being hot, obviously, at the end of the day, she's obviously going to be pro-Trump. So take that with a grain of salt. But, yeah, at the end of the day, I would say it's more like the fact that Trump just got sick of the bias. And he just wanted to can the interview because he's just sick of it. But, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. But as for this whole, he walked out as the COVID questions, completely debunked. Apart from that, guys, we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Toobin, who decided to jerk his chicken on live stream. We'll be talking about that. And we're also going to be talking about why Hunter Biden received $3.5 million from Russia. And we might actually have the answer for you. So stay tuned, guys. And apart from that, we'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night. Talk to you soon.